pick anything. And this wasn't a toy shop. Anyone guess what that room was? Samples. They were the samples from all the products he wanted. Some of them he imported, some of them he didn't. And that's one of the cool things. You'll get samples of really cool products and they'll give you other ideas. You'll show it to people and they'll be like, oh, I want some of that, and now you're an importer. Okay? The other thing I want to talk about is you can use the strategies reserved for the rich. Did you guys know that if you're at the top tax bracket, do you know what the top tax bracket is? Last time I checked it was what? 45, I think it's 47% plus 1.5% Medicare levy makes a total of 48.5%. Which means pretty much you work for the government, right? And then anything you have left, if you're 50%, you're still going to give 10% as GST, right? So really speaking, the government ends up with most of your money. Now that's for people who are working in a salary. The government takes the money out of your account before the employer takes it out of your account, gives it to the government before you even touch it. Who thinks that sucks? Cool. Who thinks tax sucks? Let me show you a show of hands. Right? Tax sucks. Unfortunately, there's only two things that are death and taxes. Two things in life that you got to actually face: death and taxes. But there's you have the ability to reduce that. It's up to you. But did you guys know if you have a company, a proprietary limited company? I have one. I have several. Do you know what the tax rate is for a company? 30%. What if the company makes $10 million in profit? Is it more than 30%? What if you're earning $10 million an employee? If you're so lucky, are you paying 30%? No, you're paying 48.5%. What's that? That is 18.5% more. 18.5% out of 30% is like 50, 60%. So like as an employee, when you get where you're trying to go as an employee, if you choose to get there, you will always be paying 50 to 60% more tax than everyone else. Hands up. Let me see a show of hands who doesn't want to be like that. Yeah. So when you have a company, there are certain things you can claim. Right? Certain things are certain car allowance, deductions, that sort of thing. So you reduce your tax even further. But at the end of the day, you're not paying the same tax as everyone else. So I urge you, whether it is importing or anything else, get out of the rat race, open a company, save on taxes. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is something interesting about... see, I could never be a supermodel. Right? I could never be a supermodel. It's not that I'm not good looking enough, I'm just not female. Right? Because women are the supermodels. So... with importing, it doesn't matter what sex you are. I mean, we've got, almost as many women as we have quite a few women here as men. You guys are here to learn about importing. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, right? That's the beauty thing about importing. There are a lot of businesses out here where the gender you are prevents you from success, not importing. It's not racist. We have people here from all different nationalities and all different countries. A lot of you are just Aussies with, first, second, third generation, right? I mean, if you go to Guangzhou, right, it is like a little cross-section of the world. It's amazing. Here you've got people speaking French, there are people speaking Italian, everywhere speaking people Chinese, everyone's speaking Chinese. And that's the cool thing. It's not ageist. As long as you can send an email and pick up the phone, you're in the age group that can do importing. It's also not snobby. What do I mean by snobby? I mean that you only need 3,000 or 5,000 to get started. The more money you have, the better you can do. Fantastic. Right? You can try a lot more products, but it's okay. It's okay if you can even get away with $1,000 to $2,000 if you're happy to get small quantities and sell them in small quantities and then build up from there. If that's all you've got, it's better than nothing. Okay, so you can get started with a little bit of money. The only thing you need, and these are absolute requirements, this is where you draw the line. You need an internet connection and basic knowledge of computers, and you can't import without a phone and a laptop. And I say a laptop, if you've got a PC, you really do need a laptop. And the reason is when you're traveling in China and you go fairs, and you're going overseas and you're doing your holidays or whatever, you need to be able to communicate with the world and check your price lists and check your customers are happy. That's why I really recommend you get a laptop. Okay? So they're the requirements. If you can meet those, then you pretty much are in the category of an importer. Finally, and this is the coolest thing, you've got a money-making education for life that no one can take away from you. Right? You all heard the terrible story of what happened to me and how I lost my company. Who cares? I mean, I could sit and wallow in that, or I could say, hey, who cares? I've got a knowledge. I've got a money-making education. I paid $50,000, $60,000, what is it, for a law degree, right? I paid for it. I didn't get the marks to do it straight out. I paid for it. I never made $1. I haven't worked a day in my life as an actual lawyer, right? And I've got 50 grand for nothing down the drain. But this is the type of education which you can take with you and no one can take away from you. And you can use it, whether it's for sourcing items for yourself, or does anyone know what OPM is? Other people's money. You can use other people's money, source goods for them and charge them for it. I mean, how many people in here have a sourcing inquiry and they're curious about that? There's people abound that want help with sourcing. You've got to know how to do it and provide value. So how to choose hot products. We're going to move on to this now. Anyone know what this is? Alex, would you be able to help me with a glass of water, my friend?
Sure.
Thank you. Just a bit parched. It's a scooter. And remember these were the Razor brand was the biggest brand? How many of these did some crazy importer sell? One sourcing agent who helped me when I was importing some products that I frankly didn't want to put the effort into myself, his brother moved into the factory, right, in some remote town, and just produced containers and containers and containers. And with that, in the space of 2 months, he bought his own house in cash, right? Off this one item. Like the Razor scooter is just absolutely incredible. It's like having your own iPhone, but that boat has sailed. Trains don't sail. And of course, you have the bikes. Anyone know what else you can sell? You can't still sell Steve Jobs. Can you sell iPads? Well, no. Forget iPads for a second. Accessories to iPads, very clever. Right, so you can see something that's absolutely successful, that's killing it in the market, and you can import. There's nothing stopping you importing cases or anything. So you see something hot out there and figure out, is there an ancillary product, excuse me? Is there an ancillary product which you can import related to this? So that's one tip on how to choose hot products. Okay, so case study. Our friends from Aussie Bros Direct. Give them a hand. We've got these students of mine. We've got Matt and Isaac. Say hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. They came to me desperately wanting mentorship and an education, and this was their website. Okay, and I just want to show this as a really good example. They're clever. They've done their own brand. See, their own brand. Pretty lady. People like pretty ladies. That sells well. And have a look at this. You've got baby products, kids craft, electronics, outdoor products. Anyone see a problem here? Come on, it's pretty obvious. You guys know the answer. I can make it far. Yes, sir.
I don't know, maybe that the electronic stuff doesn't go with the baby stuff? Like
None of them go with any of the products. Yeah. These guys are trying to do the deals direct model, right? Master of all, what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none? Yeah. So the problem is here, and I asked them, I'm like, hey, Isaac, do you like baby products? He's like, nah. Do you like kids craft products? No, not really, man. Electronics? You like electronics? He says, yeah. What about outdoor products? I'm like, nah, not really. I'm like, okay. Well, do you like anything? He goes, yeah, I love pet products. I'm making a lot of money. I'm like, well, you want to see anything missing on this website? Pet products. There's no pet products on this website. I mean, thank God these guys called me. Who knows what they'd be doing now, right? Importing baby products, kids craft on products they don't like. Anyone has an idea of how hard it is to actually import something you don't like? Right? I would never try the cosmetics world or fashion world. I would just suck at it. Right? So, what did they do? They created a company called, everyone say? Pets Gone Wild. Pets Gone Wild. Really catchy name, little bit edgy. Right? But trust me, this will be a big up and coming company that we'll hear about. And what have they done now? They've created a niche that is 1/4 of an inch and 8 miles. Great. So they're starting to import products from China that are pet related, and they can bring one and the other. There's so much in the pet. This is an example of a really good niche. So well done, guys. I'm really happy. I'm really proud of you guys. And a round of applause for these guys. And just about the ages topic, okay? Matt, would you like to tell everyone how old you are?
21.
21. 21-year-old importer. I started when I was 22. You beat me by 1 year. Jealous. So well done. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, when you succeed in this, and you will succeed in this because I've seen how you're doing it, you've now escaped the whole, was it financial advice that you guys? Yeah. Great. Okay. So here's 8 tips for choosing hot products. Okay. Number 1, are you passionate about it? If you're not passionate about it, then guess what you should do? Cut it out. Are you a consumer of the product? This is a good one. If you're looking for a product, we've got Ron at the back here, and you'll hear from him later. Ron loves iPhones. He's crazy about it, so he brought his own iPhone-related product, right? So if you're a consumer product, that's a good place to start. Does it support a need in the market? Right? Is there a need in the market that needs to be filled? Is an accessory to something already popular? What am I talking about here? Bang. That's another way of choosing a hot product. Does it have a high ticket price? This is a big one that a lot of people, for want of a better word, muck up. Why do you want a high ticket price?
Because you don't want to sell 10,000 little items, you have to sell just one.
I mean, if you're going to sell a product and put the effort into importing and selling a product, do you want to sell a product you can sell for 5 cents or a product you can sell for $5,000? You're going to do the work anyway. You might as well use, what am I looking for? Leverage, right? I mean, you can go to the ocean with a teaspoon, or you can pump the water straight into your house. Whatever you want to do. It's awesome. So let's pick a high ticket price, but at the same token, you also need to be able to push quantities of it. And there's always going to be a balance with these two. You need to get that balance right. Can you sell a lot of them? And does it belong to a niche you're interested in? And I say, not just is it a product you're passionate about, but think about the niche. Like, is there an actual niche there? The advantages of moving into a niche they're just ridiculous. Because you can go to a trade fair, isolate exactly where the pet products are. They're all there. Bang, 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 bang. Don't like that one. I like that one. Ooh, you can get it in. That's come out. You've got that variety. You've got that colour. You can see all these different things. And because you're an expert in it, you now actually can see the ins and outs of the product. You know what good quality and bad quality is. Don't go into you need to know that. You need to get passionate, enjoy it. And the coolest thing is that your customers will want to buy those ancillary products that are within that niche. So don't try and import 5,000 different items. You'll regret it, trust me. Right? And all of you, the guys who are lucky enough to get the phone consult, first thing I'm going to do is find out if your product syncs or not, find out if it belongs to a niche, and if so, we're going to get started. Okay. So can you pick one niche and concentrate in it? If it doesn't belong to a niche, if it's just a product that's out on its own, you drop it like a hot potato and we come up with a fresh idea. Is that fair enough? That makes sense? Yeah? Okay. Hands up who thinks that's a good idea to actually stick with one niche. Right, can you guys see the logic? Okay, cool. All right. And it's easy to do. Why make it hard for yourself? Everyone gets into importing and they actually start, they start scratching their nose this way. Just go straight like that. Okay. Getting brand name products in China. Okay, who's excited about this? Yeah, right? Cheap products from China. You've got your Sony Vaio laptops. You've got your iPhones, right? 40% off. Why would you pay full price for an iPhone when you get 40% off? Sony Bravia TVs, right? This is the latest stuff from Sony. You've got your Gucci. Who wants a cheap Gucci handbag? Yeah. And you've got your Armani, right? Beautiful suits. Okay. Guys, guess what? It's bullshit. You can't do it. And anyone on Alibaba, Global Sources, any of those sites who tell you, I can get you these brand name products really, really cheap, are trying to scam you. So you've heard it here. Okay? So there's the answer to that question. Buying brand name products, right? You can't do it. These companies are smart, right? They've distributed those products already. They've sewn up the distribution. They've got suppliers in different countries. There's a thing called parallel importing, but let's not get into that right now. But at the end of the day, watch out for that. Okay? You don't want to fall for that one. And that's why I brought it up. Like, see how excited you guys got? See the energy lift in the room? That's the same energy they prey upon that they scam you with. Watch out. But what you can do is create your own brand in China, like Samurai, like Pets Gone Wild. They'll brand everything Pets Gone Wild, and then the wholesale stores will love them. So, hands up who'd like to know how to create their own brand, right? You're going to do it. Look, you're going to import it anyway. Import a high-ticket item, something you can import a lot of, in a niche, and import something that you can put your own brand in. Because when you sell the business, that's what people look for when they actually buy the business. They look that you've actually got a brand name that you can sell.
It's much easier than
Exactly. It's called, the key word here is OEM. But you don't need to know that. Okay, so example again is Samurai. Right? Again, you see everything is labelled Samurai. So what I want to do is I want to do a thing called Challenge of the Logos. This is actually a business that I was going to start up that I never actually did. And I got some logos created for it. So we're going to play a little game. And we're going to have what's called a logo off. All right? And I'm going to show you the benefit of having people who are with you in importing that you can talk to, right, face to face. Right? They give you feedback. So let's have a look here. Okay, so say we're starting a new company. We want to come up with a logo for the company. We don't know what's good or what's not.